This is Who Are We Voting For? Meet the candidates. I put these videos together so you could put a name to a face to the candidates that you're voting for. So we don't go into the voting booth wondering who we're voting for. This is for the voters and not for the candidates, so we are more educated as voters.
Hi, I'm Rachael Heisler. I'm the daughter of Tom and Kathy Heisler. I grew up in central Pennsylvania. I attended Cumberland Valley High School. My mom taught at my high school. She spent 37 years in public education in Pennsylvania. During high school, I was a four-year varsity soccer player. I was an editor of my high school yearbook. I ran a mentorship program between middle school students and high school students. And I fell in love with Spanish. I wanted to go to college to become a Spanish teacher. And I wanted to attend the University of Pittsburgh because that's where my favorite teacher went, and that's where my mom's family is. She grew up in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania, and all I ever wanted to do was live in Pittsburgh. So when I turned 18, I graduated from high school and enrolled at the University of Pittsburgh, where I spent 4 years learning and studying and falling in love with politics. I am not a Spanish teacher. That is not how my life shook out. I fell in love with government and got a job with Congressman Jason Altmaier after I graduated from college. And it was a position and career I loved. After that, I was at the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, where I spent 7 years, and I'm now the city's Deputy City Controller. I'm going to share a little bit more about my family. My mom and dad are incredible and awesome people. I am so fortunate to have grown up in a loving and warm household. I have a younger brother named Andrew, who's an officer in the United States Navy, and a sister-in-law who's a pediatrician, and two awesome nieces who are 18 months old and soon will be moving back to the state of Pennsylvania. So I'm thankful for that they'll be a little bit closer. My grandparents were from Canonsburg. My grandfather was the football coach at Washington High School, Go Prixies, and my grandmother worked and did payroll at a glass plant in Washington, PA for most of her career. They taught me hard work. I love my history and my family. My grandmother grew up in a very poor family. My grandfather grew up in a very privileged family. Both of them were first generation Americans, and we're very proud to be part of this country and from this country. My mom is committed now to Democratic politics and became a Democratic committee woman in the last 5 years. My dad remains politically independent, a commitment he continues to make to this day. And that's me. That's who I am. I live on the Central North Side. I have been here in my house for 5 years. I'm the board chair of the Northside Food Pantry Advisors. We serve close to 1,000 families a year with our ongoing free produce distribution. I'm the vice chair of the Allegheny YMCA Board of Directors. We have housing for 90 men who live here on the North Side in single room occupancy units. I recently joined the board of an organization called Cafe Momentum. We provide employment opportunities to justice-involved youth. I'm a believer in living your values, and I think I do that each and every day through the service work that I'm involved with. I'm also the ward chair of the 22nd Ward Democratic Committee, and am also on the board of my neighborhood organization called the Allegheny City Central Association, where we're working to provide and sustain affordable housing opportunities in our neighborhood. I had a beloved dog who passed away a year and a half ago, and I love animals and love dog sitting. So anyone out there needs a dog sitter, let me know. But that's me. That's who I am. My name's Rachael Heisler. I'm a North Sider. I'm a Pittsburgher. I graduated from Pitt. I have a master's degree from Penn State University in public administration, and I'm a Pittsburgher by choice, not by birth. So thank you. I'm running for city controller because I believe in good government. The city controller's responsibilities per the Home Rule Charter are to be the fiscal watchdog for the city of Pittsburgh. We need to continue to make sure that city residents get what they pay for. We have to make sure that contracts are executed fairly and benefit the city. We have to make sure that we can continue to honor the commitment that we've made to city employees and retirees. We have to continue the fiscal trajectory that we've had for the last 20 years as we've emerged from Act 47. I believe I'm the best candidate to do this job moving forward. For the last 2 years, I've been the Deputy City Controller. And before that, I worked in smart and responsible fiscal policy at the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, where I worked on federal fiscal issues, making sure that the public understood how to maintain smart and responsible federal budget policy. I am looking forward to meeting everybody and having these conversations in the community. But I believe in good government, and I believe that we have to continue on the path that we're on to make sure the city remains fiscally healthy. I'll talk about my academic credentials first. I have a bachelor's degree from the University of Pittsburgh in political science and sociology, and I have a master's degree in public administration from Penn State University. For the last 2 years, I've had on-the-job training where I have learned the functions of this office in and out. I manage a staff of 50 people now, and moving up to the city controller's office is literally the practice I've been having for the last 2 years. Before that, I was at the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, where I became intimately familiar with good government work, with public pension work, with sustainable budgets, with fiscal policy, fiscal policy is how tax and spending move the economy. And for the last 2 years, the on-the-job training I've had through a pandemic has been unbelievable. We've worked with people from various points of their careers. We've brought new hires on. We have 2 employees who have been with the office for 50 years. And we've all learned how to work together in what has been a hybrid environment. And we've continued to pay the city's bills. We've continued to audit, and we've continued to produce our annual accounting report, which is published every April. And we've done that because, we have a wonderful staff who work very, very well together, and because of management, making sure that we're accommodating needs that people have for telework, for technology needs, et cetera. And I'm really proud of that work, and I'm proud to have been a leader in the city controller's office for the last 2 years. I have the temperament to run an office like the city controller's office. I have the academic background. I have the people management skills. And, I also think it's pretty fun. And I think approaching this job with a little bit of enjoyment is also really important. I love my job. I love going into work every day. There's really nothing else I would like to do with my life than to work in this capacity. So I'm thrilled to be in a position where I'm able to run for office. And I believe that I have the skills, temperament, and background that suits the city controller position perfectly.
Thank you for watching this video of Pittsburgh Events. To watch this video again or any other video from Pittsburgh Events, you can go to the YouTube channel. It's 18 Ricco. It's youtube.com/18RICCO. Again, thank you for watching, and you can check out this video and any other video from Pittsburgh Events and many other videos that didn't make it on TV.
I'm going to tell you about 2 different things that are very different. The first is a personal interest of mine. I'm the board chair of the Northside Food Pantry Advisors. We pay for the produce at the Northside Food Pantry, and we also do produce distribution in Northview Heights. When I moved to this neighborhood in 2010, I couldn't believe that there were people that were hungry that lived a block away from me. And I started to donate $100 a year here and there, but I didn't do much. And when an opportunity presented itself to get more engaged and, on the executive committee level, I jumped at the opportunity. I was at the pantry twice a month, restocking shelves, became involved with our fundraising efforts. And I am so proud of the work that we've done. We raise around $120,000 a year. Almost all of that goes towards the purchase of produce. We offer unlimited access to fresh produce at the Northside Food Pantry and at Northview Heights. We did a survey last year of pantry customers and realized that transportation issues were a huge hurdle. 42% of low-income Pittsburghers do not have access to a vehicle. So what we did with that information and with fairly limited resources, we decided that we were going to go to Northview Heights and we were going to start a produce market. And we did just that. We were welcomed by the Northside Christian Health Center, and we are there every single Saturday from 9:30 to 10:30, distributing $1,000 worth of produce. We have greens, we have onions, tomatoes, bananas, grapes. We try to, partner with our vendor to do local and seasonal produce, but making sure that families have mashed potatoes on Thanksgiving or have sweet potatoes with their ham on Easter. So that has been something that has been so personally important to me, because the idea that people live so close to me and do not have access to fresh and healthy produce is unacceptable. For me, my options were limited in what I could do. So I got involved and I raised money, and now we're able to do these programs on an ongoing annual basis. And I'm so proud of the volunteers, the donors, and the community that has rallied around the programs that we offer. And then on the other side of things, with the city controller's office in this campaign, there's been a lot of conversation around Pittsburgh Public Schools. The city controller is also the controller for Pittsburgh Public Schools, but there are two different school code issues. The school code dictates specifically that the only entity responsible for external audits is the Auditor General. So these audits are not currently being done because last year in 2022, the Auditor General decided to close the school audit division. This is a huge issue. The Auditor General audited Pittsburgh Public Schools 3 times in the last 10 years. These audits highlighted crazy things where the travel budget for administrators increased 175% in 5 years. We found issues with credentials with paraprofessionals and educators. We found issues with direct transportation costs for students, where we were spending $50,000 a year per student to get a kid to school. Obviously, there are big issues facing the district, and those audits exposed problems. Now, no one has that responsibility because of the decision of the Auditor General. The school controller could have this responsibility if the school board votes to A, amend the budget for the school controller's office to allow us to hire performance auditors. We do not currently have staff at Pittsburgh Public Schools that can do this work. And the second is they have to amend school policy so that we may go in and do these external performance audits of the school district. There's nothing that we can do that will address the issue with the Auditor General, with the exception of changing the Auditor General. But there are things that we can do here in Pittsburgh to expose issues that are going on with PPS. We have incredible teachers, we have pretty great administrators, but we're still having issues with the achievement gap and with, economically segregated schools. And there are things that we can only address with data. And it is absolutely important that we do that. Pittsburgh Public Schools is a huge vulnerability with the city if we don't turn things around. If a two-person household with 2 kids, if they can't send their kids to Pittsburgh Public Schools, they're going to move. And we need to do everything we can to keep working families in the city of Pittsburgh and keep their kids in public schools. So that is something that I would love to tackle. It's something I'm communicating with school board members about because I think it's vitally important that the school board can make decisions based on data and based on research and what we're finding as auditors. But right now there is absolutely no one who has that authority besides the Auditor General, who unfortunately has decided that he no longer wants to prioritize this work. So my hope is that Pittsburgh Public Schools will make those 2 changes, both with the school code and with the budget, and allow the school controller, who is the city controller, to do this work. I think that would really instill some confidence that the public has with the school district, create a better relationship between the school controller's office and the city controller, and just improve conditions for working families in the city of Pittsburgh. So thank you for considering me as a candidate for city controller. I'm grateful. The city controller is the 3rd branch of city government. The executive branch is the mayor and the administration. The legislative branch is city council. And the 3rd branch of government is the city controller's office. We're the check and balance on the rest of city government. And no one else in this race understands this office like I do. And no one else in this race understands what's at stake. We have a school district that's really struggling. We have a debt cliff that's coming in 2025, and some background for that. And in 1998, we had to issue a bond for pension debt because we couldn't afford to pay our retirees. That can never happen again. So, now we're faced with a debt cliff, which the city will be able to handle, but we can never be in an economic situation where we have to borrow to honor the commitment that we've made to our retirees and our current workforce. So monitoring that and making sure that those things never happen again, and continuing to work to make sure with these city departments that city residents are getting what they pay for, that when they pay for paving to be done on their street, that the paving was done that was so.
Thanks for watching the video. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so I can bring you more videos on subjects like this and many other topics. Please leave any comments in the comment section. Any questions or comments, I'll get back to them as soon as I possibly can. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.